We're westward leading on this week's episode of the Indie Ball Report podcast. We're back, episode number 362 of the Indie Ball Report podcast, your favorite independent show hosted by a pair of losers. Is that right, Ryan?
I'm just hanging out here in my mom's basement, baby.
Oh, you're still in the basement? I got bumped up to the attic. Penthouse living.
Yeah.
But it sure is windy out here.
I don't even know how much attention to give to that, so I might not even engage at this point.
Full toppings and seats, dude. Full toppings and seats.
I'm on the record of if Sean Hunter ever wants to talk, I'm around, and I'd love to ask him about why over a dozen people from his staff and former members of his staff have come to me saying that he's unprofessional. It's a hostile work environment. I don't know. I'm on the record.
I wonder how much overlap there is between people talking to you and me. I gotta imagine there's some, but not that much.
My last estimate was we could get at least 17 to 20 people on the record. Whether it's anonymous or not, it's a different conversation.
Healthy working environment.
And somewhere in the distance, a dog barks.
How poetic.
Make your own choices.
Truly a testament to his people. So, are we ready to get through the two pieces of news we got this week? Talk a little ball and get the hell out of here?
Sure, man. I am dying looking for things to talk about this week. I've been in my own world working on my own stuff. So, just tweeting some transactions and getting hit up by an anonymous account who wants to run some mouth.
With one follower that was created in November?
Yes, that very same. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I definitely got nailed with that one.
Katie would be proud. So we got a couple things to go over. Just in case you're wondering in general for the folk out there, we're actually going to start doing reviews, and we're a deep dive starting next week. It's going to be Atlantic League North for our way too late season recaps, and that should bring us all the way through until our Atlantic League preview in mid-April. We'll call it like second week of April. Not important. You'll worry about that 2 months from now, but we're going to work through the Atlantic League, work through the American, the Frontier, and the Pioneer, and we'll mix in some interviews there. We got some stuff to get scheduled because I'm very bad at this. But yes, any event. So let's talk about some Western leagues here because we have Western Association news because for some reason we continue to decide to give them airtime, and Long Beach has a sponsor that's kind of interesting. I guess we'll start Long Beach because they'll be quicker and they're in a real league.
Well, for now.
Yeah, for now it's a real league. So, the Long Beach Coast, they have a jersey sponsor and a founding partner, as they call them, which is the Long Beach Airport. They're going to have an airport logo on their jersey. Presumably got to give them money for that. And, interesting airport with a baseball team. Makes sense because they're going to have to fly a lot to get to 70% of this league. But, yeah, they're the preferred airport of the Long Beach Coast.
I wonder how that airport is. It's an old one, right?
Yeah, opened in 32, I think it said.
I think 23, because I remember being over 100 years.
Damn, there's that dyslexia acting up again.
Yeah, it'll get you, man, every time.
I beat the test on it,
though. I mean, cool. Better having a sponsor is better than not having a sponsor, first of all. I am just like, all right. I don't know what to make of it. There's so much. I feel so bad that we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here for like random news. I'm just like, I'm in a weird headspace for this whole week. And then you come to me with airport sponsor, Long Beach. I don't know. I don't know what you want from me here.
Instead of flying me to the moon, it's flying me to Missoula.
Can you fly from there to Montana? I guess if it's your own plane, I guess, right? But like, is that what we're doing?
they're just going to get, what's that one charter service they have that does like not private flights, but essentially private flights?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's like Jetly or whatever too.
Mm. Jet
You
2
can go
Holiday.
Long Beach to Missoula. Jackpot babies. Yeah, honestly, fairly affordable.
How much?
$427. It's a connection though. Are they making you go Long Beach to LAX? That's funny. That's funny. That's tough.
I just want to point out, for like $400, you can fly from JFK to like Sarajevo.
The only problem is because Sarajevo. I'm sorry, it's a layover in Salt Lake City. That's on me.
That's
Perfect
basically
example,
Ogden.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me
Jackpot.
Coke.
No. A root beer, potentially. Sorry, you caught me on a weird day. I barely gotten to like binge the normal amount of indie ball stuff this week that I've done. I've been like just tweeting transactions just to feel alive because like I've had a busy work week. I've been editing 3 different videos for the Frontier League tryout thing. I am a transparent moment to listeners. I am on my last whim. And then we get here and we're talking about the Long Beach airport and I'm not okay. I'm not all right. And again, overarching theme, good. I'm glad. I would rather you have a sponsor than not because I need you to make money because the Pioneer League is folding as we speak. Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to talk about that?
I guess. I'm just currently debating if I want to take the copyright hit in the edit of I'm not okay playing over that whole rant.
I mean, I might be. There's literally just a whole episode. I think that's the way it's going to work out in a second. If there's going to be any more added to it or not, of me just spiraling out when it comes to this Frontier League tryout thing. It's just a week of me like not working out and just being stressed.
You know, it sounds like to me if you were a parent, you'd have a lot more wisdom. You should ask Will Compton about that. And for a guy that doesn't really listen to the show, you seem to know a lot about the hosts.
I used to watch it. I mean, they were when it was organic, like any other pod. Like when it was organic, it was likable. Like it was interesting to form. Remember, they used to be active NFL players who were just like literally finishing a game and then like going and talking about it. It was actually very interesting behind the scenes, interesting stuff about these 2 pro athletes. And then now, or 1 pro athlete and Will Compton, as the case may be, depending on it. And then the fact that over time, and much like Pat McAfee was super fascinating. Now Pat McAfee is a mouthpiece for the worst people you know. It just, you know, and that's why right here, dear listener, I can promise you, we will never be successful enough to get like that. That's my commitment.
Well, look, Baseball United is looking for a new like leading head here, so we're ready to take some blood money.
You dare get me on that? Can we talk? Okay, okay. So there's a new CEO coming, right, or president, whatever the hell that guy was. Okay, coming to Baseball United, the Dubai League, for those of you who don't remember. What is your theory?
Okay, so before I give a theory out here, 2 very important things I want to throw out here. 1, if you weren't already aware, I'll spell it out for you. This week's going to be a total mess and a shit show. Mm-hmm. So, I get it. If you don't want to keep going, perfectly cool. Join us next week.
It won't be long,
organized.
It won't be long. And look, and we have the next several weeks planned out. So we are fully embracing the fact that this week is just getting one out of our systems because Ryan's short-circuiting and Nick has lost control. So it's fine.
We cut the brake lines.
But we are talking indie ball, by the way. I mean, we left the podcast. Like we went on the bus with the boys loop. We hit a second detour on Pat McAfee, but we are back.
Exactly.
To like, quote unquote indie ball. We're about to talk Western Association. We are talking Baseball United. I have Pioneer League drama. And what's the other one? We had something else happening.
There was going to be some talking ball here.
Right. We're going to talk some ball. We got some transactions to talk about. Are the Scrappy Dogs melting down or not? Who's to say?
Yeah, we're just like a female NASCAR driver, right? We're just going 160 right into whatever's in front of us.
Who cares that crash happened 16 seconds ago? I'm going to almost kill somebody.
Good. They deserve it.
She's a mother.
Quality.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Baseball United conspiracy. So either he's seeing the shit show that's going on that is Baseball United, or who's backing? This is Dubai money that's backing this, not Saudi blood money. So it's just Dubai blood money.
A little bit of everything in there.
Okay, any event, the oil blood money. That's a good blanket term.
There you go.
I think they may be saying, we're not really seeing a return on this investment here, and the sports washing using basically indie ball guys and washed up major leaguers is not really the successful way to do this. So,
well, because let's remember what this was originally. This was a league coming to several cities around the Middle East, and then it became a league also in India. Dubai, and then
it became a showcase in Dubai.
And then it became a showcase in Dubai, and a showcase in Dubai featuring a handful of former major leaguers and indie ball guys, which cool for them.
Get your bag, boys.
They got a little lost in the sauce from maybe a Savannah Bananas thing works, and they did the extra home run ball thing, whatever the hell they got going.
Oh, yeah, the money ball.
Yeah, I mean, so my thing is he bailing, or are they this isn't what we're looking for, brother? And that's where it's got, I don't know.
I do appreciate that they bring pictures in on camels, though. That was cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't. Here's the problem, right? You're intrinsically trying to sell baseball to a populace that has no real experience with baseball. And the only people that are really in Dubai that care about baseball are Americans that are in Dubai. And the ones that are going to Dubai probably don't care that much about whatever the hell this is. And there's a reason why you have to throw names like Barry Larkin, Robinson Cano, who were some of the other ones that were investors in it, which I took to mean we paid you money to call you an investor.
Yeah. So my comparison on this is it's and I'm not saying it's the same because everyone in the Middle East is the same. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I feel like a comp league on this is the Saudi Pro League, soccer league, because while the countries are different, there is an existing culture around soccer in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but they have their own money at getting
and they're throwing a ton of money at it. They're getting top talent, and still those stadiums are empty as hell. They're still not. And now they are getting TV deals and things like that. They're getting actual ESPN airtime, but that Baseball United ain't doing that. So I'm what is the return here? Now, of course, not spending like that, but I'm saying they've done all this extra stuff and they're still not getting the traction that they were probably hoping for. So it just makes you wonder, what is the end game and how far off are they from it right now?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the end game was when they first started this, because it seems like there was never really a plan.
Feels like a sports washing thing for sure.
I mean it feels like, but again, this is your attempt at it. I mean, that's trying to drag race with a 2011 Subaru.
I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot happening with that too, because it's the UAE has its own political drama happening right now. The stuff with Sudan's not good. So it could have, there's some people getting let go because they've said around the UAE for saying things that people don't agree with when it comes to that. Who knows? It could be that. There's so many things that could be going on here, but the need for sports washing is aggressive in the eyes of Dubai and the UAE right now. Also, Dubai is kind of not doing great, which is another thing that people aren't talking about very much. So there's a lot happening over there, which could be causing pressures and concerns and shifts in investment and things like that. But I don't know. I just feel like if I'm an investor in that thing, I'm like, this is not what I was hoping it would be.
I mean, yeah, it also could just be more or less like a business type of situation where it's our ROI is not here. So leadership goes for that reason. I don't necessarily think it's a business model thing. I think it's just everybody thought it was going to be a lot more successful than it wound up being. And now
everyone saw Live. Well, also, I think part of the issue is everyone saw Live Golf and was like, ooh, all this potential. And now they're like even Live Golf isn't a thing, really.
They're losing guys that they got.
It's not what everyone thought it was going to be. And now what the pie in the sky goal is to be Live Golf, and in a couple of years it's devolved to like, wait a minute, I hope we don't become Live Golf. So then
I still think Live Golf is their highlight though. Like,
I agree, it's the best they've gotten. It's still not successful.
We'll see. That's a whole.
They poured a ton of money into it for what? Phil Mickelson, who's basically a criminal when it comes to finance stuff. Like,
he's also a degenerate gambler. That's why
gambling addict. Yeah,
dude, the Phil gambling stories are great. Dude's putting 10 G's a hole on college golfers.
And to be fair, that's what Michael Jordan would call light work.
So, any other thoughts on the Desert League?
Nah, I'm done with the Sand League. Wait, no, I'm not. We're back to the other Sand Leagues. Western Association? Question mark. The Western Association is now, speaking of leagues that aren't what they wanted to be, the Western Association's released a statement basically saying we'll be playing in 2016 or 2026 or 2016. In 2026. And they're saying that was it going to be up to 14 markets? They're only doing 8 the first year. But they also said they're doing 78 games. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's also not math for 8 teams. That's everyone playing 19 and a half games. And I'm like, do you have a schedule already? Does that mean you have locations? Do you just have like place orders? What's happening?
Plus, the footprint's kind of jacked up. I mean, like Arizona, Nevada, Southern Cal, Texas, and Utah. That's a weird footprint.
It's something.
They still list the Henderson who?
Oh, Henderson's supposed to still be a thing, right? Because they're based out of Henderson, I think.
I guess. I don't know. This is a mess. This is worse than this podcast.
Anyway, to my point, I am supportive of any indie league trying to make a run, right? So my general thought is, do I support this league? Yes. Will I support it financially? No, I'm quite far away. Will I support it with coverage? Occasionally, not overly. I'm more hesitant. I have as much belief in Baseball United as I do in the Western Association. I think the Western Association is interesting for one reason and one reason only. We're going to skate to one song and one song only. And the reason is the Pioneer League is sketchy, and that's where we're probably going to land here. And as the Pioneer League is really trying to figure out who they are, having another league out there, even operating like a weird part-time capacity, that isn't the Pecos League, because the Pecos League is its own can of worms, is a fascinating thing to keep an eye on. As either teams that, a league that could possibly pair with the Pioneer in the future, or who could, trade off markets with them, or whatever the case may be, or be a testing ground for potential markets that the Pioneer League can swoop up like they did with Long Beach. Let's not forget that happening. So it's interesting to me for the normal reason, which is, new league. Okay, let's see. I'm not impressed with how this rollout's gone. I'm not impressed with the level of detail. It seems like they're still flying by the seat of their pants the same way they were months ago when this whole thing was announced. And they said we'd hear more within 2 months, and we didn't. Yeah. And then when I found the logos for those teams on their website, and I was like, well, here's what the teams are.
Well, the whole dev site, mind you.
Right. And yeah, I guess that's kind of my complete thought on it. We don't really have any details about who's involved at this point.
Oh, no, the league staff page is up.
No, but I mean, like, as far as like actual, like the teams, the cities, and people, like, it's not even like they're like, here's somebody running this league or whatever the case may be, or this team.
No, I mean, like, I'm sure if we go ahead and go to these people's LinkedIn pages and whatnot, we could probably deduce that about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, maybe. I just didn't like.
Yuma, Arizona, they don't have
all teams go live in 11 days, according to them.
Bullshit. Yuma, they don't have
this is the second time I've seen that counter.
Yeah. Yuma doesn't have a ballpark or permanent tenant, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay, because it's listed in Peter Young's bio.
Desert Sun Stadium. Yeah, there is a stadium.
Okay. So they're probably
Arizona Winter League has played there. So yeah, probably there.
Yeah, okay, so Yuma's another one. St. George is probably going to be back into the fold.
George back. I assume Henderson still.
Yeah, so it's those three.
I don't remember which other ones I had screenshots of.
I think we still have them. I have to check, but probably on the Twitter. Any event. Yeah, I mean, like, there's going to be some there. I just have no faith in any of the leadership here. The one I had any confidence in was Peter Young, but seeing as he is deceased now, that's going to be tough for him to really advise on the situation. You have DeRosier, who did just such a great job of Brockton. And then the Sanders Scotland and William Anderson guys, I don't know all that much about them, but the kind of quick overview I get isn't overly inspiring. So, like, I don't know. I just don't love anything about this league. They've also been a tease for literally since this show started. And it's not good when we're more consistent than you are.
Yeah. And I'll also take a moment to say, like, interesting phrasing. League has executed territory agreements with qualified ownership groups.
Why is it worded like a business expansion?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, have they literally given, like, ownership is allowed to have a team in Arizona, a team in Nevada, like, cut into regions, which also makes me feel like, do they not have a set location? Some of them, like at the current moment, I don't know. I am concerned about this.
So,
but don't worry. I'm getting that from one Nick DesRosiers. DesRosiers is where I'm going with.
I went with DeRosier.
And he's in. Oh yeah, that's probably right. And he's in conversation with somebody else as well on LinkedIn. So, to our next story. Yeah, Ogden, guys, somebody needs to have a conversation. Somebody who isn't currently working for the Western Association. That, by the way, makes me wonder if the Western Association is trying to be like, ooh, I might have a solution for you, Ogden.
Why are they the ugly bar hag that's trying to seduce married men? Honey, you're not hot enough to steal their...
It's just...
It makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder. Should I get into it? I mean,
they are our wonder wall, so might as well.
I'm just pulling it real quick.
An oasis of truth.
Sorry for the delay here.
You're gonna be the one that saves me.
So dumb.
'Cause after all, you're my wonder boy.
All right. So we've talked in the past about Dave Baggett, who's the owner and president of the Ogden Raptors. He got our attention on LinkedIn once before by posting about having several $100,000 in workers' comp that he has to figure out and needing help with it. That was probably, a year and a half, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
That's not good. Most recently, he's been at it again with the sort of desperate posting, one from the Ogden Raptors account. And that was, as far as I could glean from watching this video, which was kind of a hard watch, if I'm honest. Like, I was straight up not having a good time. It was kind of cringe. Basically looking for some sort of deal. Obviously a financial sort of windfall that you're looking for. Asking like 256 companies to give him $1,000 for $1,000 in concession vouchers. There's some guess that could be related to the workers' comp thing still. It's
if you're trading concession credits for real world money, we're in a bad spot.
Yeah, it's not good.
Like, let's just say it bluntly here. You have one of the teams that presumably should be better ran because they're not far from major population hubs. And also, like, let's be real. How much is there to really do in Ogden, Utah in the summer? Doesn't really feel like a cultural hub out there. And you're struggling to make enough money to pay for the players' insurance and whatnot for the second, third year in a row. So it brings us back to, is the league not really advising on what to do here? Are the teams not taking this seriously? Is this a situation where it's just the cost is actually that debilitating? I mean, we see like with the WBC, player insurance is a problem now.
Yep.
Way different expectations. They're insuring a player that's making $150 million, a lot different than insuring a team of guys that are making like 2,500 every 2 weeks, if that. So, scale is different, but the principle is the same, where it's really tough to insure people doing a thing that is, I would say, likely to result in injury. I mean, at the very least, an increased risk in injury if you're standing in there with the dude throwing 95, and that if like he just misses his spot and gets you in the wrong spot, like, oh yeah, no, you're in a cast for like a month and a half.
Yeah, man.
Like, that's a thing. Even just like, oh yeah, no, he didn't drink enough and he then sprinted as fast as he could 90 feet. And then when he got to the 89th foot, yeah, the hammy just said, nope, we're done. And so now it's something as simple as that. So I get the problem here, but if we're not able to cover the most basic of things, or I guess not even basic, but most essential of things, and this is one of the better ran teams, or at least ones that have more economic upside, presumably, what does that mean for everybody else? It's clearly not an isolated issue at that point. And where do you go from here? Like, Western Association ain't an option. I guess you could Pecos this, but you still have the insurance problem there if you want to, operate like people. And that leaves you really with summer college ball, of which I'm not familiar with how that's going to look across the board, but you're not going to play the same teams and whatnot, because it just doesn't make economic sense to bus someone from Utah to Montana. So if that's the case, then where are you going to fall into? It's just a general economic mess, because damn, do they really need those alimony payments?
There's a few things happening here. I think the Pioneer League is just misrun, clearly. I think they were ill prepared for the financial situation they're entering with all this and the challenges ahead with indie ball. However, I also think there's a very particular Ogden issue here. For the record, I root for guys like Dave Baggett. He seems to genuinely care. Like, he seems
right
to,
against
I don't know.
Bourgeoisie.
I don't know if this dude's the bourgeoisie. He's out here scrounging for cash, my guy. I'm pretty sure he's not.
He's the baseball team. He's the bourgeoisie.
But as far as someone has to own a team. So as far as owners go,
just what the bourgeoisie would say.
Okay, well, let me have a conversation about people buying up the Frontier League, and we'll have Matt on and we'll talk about it. But like, okay,
not
but if we have to pick a team, like an ownership group, like, do you want the corporate group? Maybe they're more solid. I also like the guy who's like fighting for it, which he clearly is. However, there is a certain need here, and it's always hit me of the number of, and even if, And here's where I show my ignorance to exactly what the feel of the market is in Ogden right now. Even if Dave is the face of things and he's well received and he does well with the fan base, he should not be the person selling tickets online as much as he is. They're always like their number one marketing thing is videos of him talking about what's coming up, which one, love that he's confident enough to do it and the enthusiasm to do it. There's a lot of people who aren't like that. But two, that's not the move. That's just not a good marketing strategy. That's not how this works. And even if it is working, I'm not saying it's not. There are things that will work better, and I can say that with confidence. But that extends further, right? Because not only did that video happen, but in the same thing, the same week, I guess, he's posted a video or a post, right? So I guess it was a week before. It was all about a week and a half ago, maybe. I don't check Indie Ball LinkedIn as much as the other accounts. Sorry about that. It was the LinkedIn post from Dave. All it says is, I need serious help finding insurance for my players. That sounds bad, by the way. That's a desperate LinkedIn post. That doesn't have the usual LinkedIn pizzazz of. And with that, you have the responses, including Nick Gerosier, if that's what we're going with here, from Western Association, saying, let's talk. I have some folks I can introduce you to. Shoot me a DM with the best number to reach you at. Be careful, Dave. That's how the Epstein list happened. Other than that, I'm a little, there's a post before him asking what people think different signed baseballs are worth. I really hope he's not selling baseballs to make ends meet here. Wouldn't put it past him because he seems committed to the game. A month ago, okay, gang, I'm in need of hiring a new group salesperson or manager, whatever you want to call yourself. Brother, that's not how you do that. That needs to be a job title first, and then you hire somebody. That's not how you do a job post.
I feel like the bar is pretty low out there. That should just be applying. I'm saying
too, and this isn't to sit here and like bully Dave Baggett. I'm saying like clearly there's a structure missing within this organization, because all of this should be being handled differently. All of this should be being handled in other ways, and maybe they've tried it. So either it's really that desperate, or the people doing it who have tried it have not been capable, or whatever the case may be. I don't know the ins and outs of that front office. It's one that's more of a blind spot to me day in, day out. But it is not a good look, and it's deeply concerning. And it's even concerning when I take my screenshots and I grab the video and I send it to other people around the Pioneer League. And every single person goes, not surprised. One, because Ogden's struggling and we know it. And two, because they ain't the only ones. And that's when I go, oh, damn, that's bad. So it's just worrisome. It's back to the whole Pioneer League thing. And I feel like, I'm going to say the thing. Pioneer League, I'm rooting for you, baby. I'm not dunking on you. I'm rooting for you. I want this. I love you guys. Boy, I worry. I worry more than I enjoy right now. And that's not the place to be as a league.
We're getting closer to the last chapter of Old Yeller.
Sadly, it feels like it, right? Because, and I've done this, I'll give the quick version of this before. It breaks my heart because I think the Pioneer League is in many ways what's good about indie ball. It fills a gap in these small towns and small cities that, when people who are only in it for, the most efficient or profitable things, optimized, thank you very much, that's a very accurate way of saying it, they'll overlook them. But owners like Dave, owners like family handed down owners, and maybe, yes, even the ones who see the value in some of these smaller organizations and smaller towns, they can keep it there with this unique offering that is indie ball. And it brings a lot to the town. It's good for the game. It's good for everybody when it's done right. And it hurts me because I'll be the first one to sit here and beat my chest and say dime baseball holding sucks, and they don't care about your town and they don't care about your people, and they'll bail on you the moment they can, and they'll take professional baseball from your city. But then the Pioneer League has these situations where we have had to sit here multiple times and be like, maybe at the end of the day, Ogden, Utah isn't a professional baseball city. And maybe it's time to have that conversation. And that sucks. And maybe, Marysville or some of these other ones, Idaho Falls, question mark, isn't a professional baseball city. And then we're the ones being like, oh, maybe you don't get professional baseball anymore. But it's because I do believe professional baseball can work in these towns. It's worked for a very long time. However, the financial realities of indie ball require a different type of plan. And it feels like the league never had that plan. And instead it at times feels like the league and some of the owners might have gotten sold a bill of goods that they knew would be good for them by taking this like opportunity to become an indie league, like kind of together. And maybe not everyone knew what they were getting into, or they thought it would be different, or whatever the case may be. And it just sucks because now they're left fighting. It feels like they're fighting in a foreign land against forces they barely understand. And I hate that. But this isn't good. And I don't know what to do about it.
Because they went wrong from the get-go with their leadership structure, where they never really got people that had done this before. Which is why when you see like pop-up leagues like the Western Association, like the CBL, say, all right, we're going to try and jump into the fray here. The thing we always say is get a couple guys that have done this before to actually lead the charge on it. And I'm not talking guys that, have some experience, but it's just like none may be better than what you have. So, like, it starts at the top. And the thing is, they've always had that poor leadership that's inexperienced in the Pioneer. They've never really had a guy that has been around anything like independent ball for any significant amount of time. And that's not to say that current or past leadership was malicious or not attempting to do their best. I genuinely think they've tried to do their best. I just don't think they know how to proceed and what way to go. And each time they kind of have like solve the problem in front of us mentality, which if you're treading water, then yeah, that's what you kind of have to do. Your main concern is keeping your head above it. And then it's like, all right, where is the coast or something for me to grab onto? Let me get to there and then, step by step it. But the issue is they're trying to do this in the middle of a hurricane, and that's just not going to work. So, it does feel like we're at the point here where there are markets that can work. There are teams that will succeed. But, like, if you're going to sit here with a straight face and tell me that half of these teams should still be professional without any sort of aid from the top, from some outside force, I just don't know if you can get on board with that. I don't know if I can get on board with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't know, man. And I like to sit here and be like, here's the solution. I don't know. I'm so close to hitting them up and be like, can I help you? Like, what do we... I don't know. But it's something to note because it's an interesting glimpse into the struggles that people are fighting and how a lot of all three desperate moments that we've seen from this organization so far have been around the topic of insurance and workers' comp. And we cannot overemphasize how important that is to understand if you're getting into this thing. Like the workers' comp around a serious arm injury is really unbelievable. And I hate to say it is something you think about as a baseball ops person when it comes to it. If you have a guy who, you think there's good potential there, but he's had elbow issues in the past year, dude, if that thing springs, how much money are you on the hook for on the workers' comp side? And then, that is something that, talk about pressures of baseball operations staff. That's something you have to answer for to your owner, is that sort of thing. So it's a very present concern. It's something that a lot of the first organizations I've talked to in indie ball have been like, oh, blindsided by, because, if you were affiliated before, that's all being handled elsewhere. In most places, if you bring in an HR professional, even if you weren't a pro team already, if you're a new organization, for instance, you bring in an HR professional, but they haven't done pro sports before, they're not even thinking about the workers' comp dynamics involved with a professional athlete and the injuries. So yeah, it's really easy to realize late in the game when it's already happening now. Because you know what I mean? Say you don't fully understand what you're getting into with that until 2 months in to your first season. Now what? You're already in. Oh, can't undo that. So I feel for them.
That's the thing that speaks volumes, that nobody else from any other league is trying to jump over into a leadership position over there. Because you think there's guys that have been in a secondary or tertiary role with their respective leagues for some time, or were with a league that folded and would be like, oh, well, maybe I could go over there. And they've just nope. Just said, nah, I'm not interested in getting involved in that. And I feel like that's, its own way, a kind of condemnation of it.
Yeah. And I don't know. The perception of the league is not getting better, which is the concern. You know what I mean? You like to think it's improving as they expand out and do new things. Everyone I talk to, players excluded, because players are open to the Pioneer League because they pay like crazy. But the front office person I talk to, the managers, the coaches, the baseball ops people, the GMs, all of them are like, that Pioneer League, I'll be unemployed before I go there. And that's crazy. That's insane. But that's the level of concern throughout indie ball about this league right now, which sucks. And I don't know if they can pull that back. And that's why, again, Western Association is something we have to talk about because it might be relevant. I don't know. I want to do well. I love Pioneer League.
The situation unfolds.
It's like watching, it's gotta be what parenting me was like. Making the same mistakes over and over again, finding brand new mistakes nobody knew was possible, making the obvious mistakes and then not being able to fix it because it's a little too late in the game. And you're sitting there as a parent going, I don't even know where to begin, but it's breaking my heart, kid.
So you know who they need to help solve this mess?
Who?
Parenting guru Will Compton.
Man. There are sites to list Henry Hunter. They have 2 people working in the front office and for this league.
Well, maybe they can outsource some of this work to Salernia.
Salernia. I didn't know the one dude from their front office used to be in the Frontier League office. Interesting. Talk about going potentially the wrong way. He was in minor league baseball, senior vice president of consumer product licensing, then Frontier League, then Pioneer League.
Well, if we're done talking about the joys of organized baseball, we could talk about a couple player moves and then wrap her up. I only have one, so if you have one, that's nice symmetry.
I'll do one, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Because mine's kind of a full circle to the intro, because we're talking little Henry Kusiak.
I've been calling him Kusiak, but I could be off on that one. I never got confirmation.
I never go ahead and get things right.
It's like, Ryan, don't they say on the broadcast? Brother, I don't remember anything.
It's like, look, there is at any given time 26 broadcasts going on. So
I know half the time I'm listening to it muted. No offense to the broadcasters, it's just because I have 5 broadcasts going at once.
That, and also you can listen to multiple different broadcasts, and I like a lot of the association guys.
Anyway,
yeah, Henry Kusiak. He signed in Long Island. He leaves Chicago after being named Rookie of the Year in the association, age 25, season upcoming. He's really a shortstop. Good slash line, though. 309, 377, 481, 12 home runs, 47 RBIs in only 79 games. A nice productive season for him, no doubt. And a guy who had success in the Frontier, and he had success in the American. I got to imagine the trend continues. I like signing for Long Island. It feels like a classic, indie ball lifer type of dude. that just kind of shows up and produces. I do think at 25, he's kind of on the edge of still having affiliated potential. That being said, I feel like he's a good candidate to stay for most of the season. I don't necessarily know how he adjusts to facing Atlantic League pitching. That's always a bit of a jump here, but being in the association, having a really good season there, gives me a lot of confidence in that adjustment. So I'm curious to see it, but yeah, no, I like having him on there. I will be really the interesting part for me is if they're going to keep him as a shortstop or not, or try to get him as more a second base or possibly even third baseman.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm feeling a little more confident because he did already do the adjustment Frontier to American, and he seemed to handle it well.
Yeah,
so that's usually a sign. Yeah, I'm trying to get a feel for the positioning there. Shortstop, probably, right?
Yeah, well, it depends who's on the roster if they have any sort of, major league surprise.
Right, because we've seen how many, episodes of Long Island being like, all 9 of our people are from former major leaguers. Good luck, anybody else. Like,
yeah, it's just like,
okay,
hey,
cool.
Danny Hatchery is back. Island. Yeah.
Cool. Terrorism. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I think he'll definitely. I mean, you pencil him in as like a six spot guy in your lineup, and then let him kind of get comfortable and move from there. Probably that's a pretty good spot for a shortstop to be in. I mean, you'd like to think. I mean, I don't see him dropping below like a 750, 725 OPS type of guy. So he should be productive, especially if he's sitting middle to back of lineup. But I could also see a world where he gets nice and comfortable with Atlantic League pitching and handles it well, especially because Long Island does tend to have a lineup where you could have some good protection around you, where even if he doesn't have anybody behind him who's necessarily a masher or somebody who's, an intimidating at bat, Long Island tends to string together really good, like 3, 4, 5, for instance. And then all of a sudden, you survive that, but maybe you have a guy on base or you pitch around somebody. Now you have to be coming in and throwing strikes to like the 6th guy, for instance. And I'm harping on that spot, but because whoever hits in that spot tends to, I think, have a good opportunity to put up some numbers for Long Island because they have to get you some pitches. So yeah, I think he could, settle in there and do pretty well. He is not a guy who walks very often. So, it's
literal hit
in the zone to him is a good thing. And that's something that you want to see. You wish he had a little more pop, and that's probably what keeps him out more of the heart of that lineup. But it increased from 3 to 12. But
like going up to 12, and admittedly probably more hitter friendly environment than Windy City.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, like I'm fine with that. Like low teens, mid teens from that position is fine.
I am fine with that as well. I'm just saying I wouldn't count on him for like 3 hitter type numbers or maybe even 5 hitter type numbers. That's what I'm kind of saying. Where is this guy going to fit in a Long Island lineup where there's typically a lot of competition for getting time and getting looks? And not that I think he's going to have to compete for it and fight for it, but I'm saying, okay, I don't think they bring him in unless they had a vision for where he should go already. So that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's really all I had as far as player for this week. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of checking this out too. I was just sort of rounding out a couple numbers, making sure I wasn't completely crazy off my memory of what Kusiak has done in the past. And no, okay, I'm not completely crazy, at least. Sometimes I feel like I have someone's numbers in my head. And I'm like, wow, that season was not what I thought it was or whatever. But no such concern in this instance.
Just a Claymore crazy, that's all.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at Peter Zimmerman coming back to Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
I feel like Peter Zimmerman's going into his age 28 season. He made the jump. He put up some gaudy numbers his last 2 seasons in the Frontier League with Gateway. I think there was a lot of thought about, okay, how much of this is hitting in Gateway? I don't know, because he then went to the birdcage, which is an offensive place too. So
I was going to say that's not exactly proving anything.
So it was a little surprising when, I mean, his OPS was still over 800. So I'm not like, this guy's trash, but his OPS the last 2 years in the Frontier was an 1156 and over a 1 dot again by a little bit. So his OPS for 2 straight years was crazy. He had he slugged over 600 those 2 years combined. I mean, he was putting up numbers. To see him reduced to a 264 batting average, a 366 on base, and a 442 slugging, that's an 809 OPS, which again is not bad, but it definitely was a step backwards. And you're kind of looking like, okay, what is it here? And you know, it's kind of hard to tell. It's a little bit weird. He wasn't striking out notably more. He was he walked the same amount in less at bats. So I'm not entirely sure. Projections aren't sure what to make of it either.
To say, I almost feel like the approach of the plate changed, right? Where fewer strikeouts, more walks essentially, and less games, less at bats. So, it almost feels like he said, all right, I'm not going to try to do as much at the plate. I'm just going to try to get on more, at least through other means.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. And it could just been being asked to do different things in different lineup. There's a lot it could be. And that's where I'm a little bit, I'm hesitant to say, like caution here. Like, I think it's a great move bringing him in. Again, not bringing him in, but keeping him around. Projections like a bit of a bounce back, I would say. I mean, we're looking at, sorry, I'm trying to expand a cell real quick, about an 870 OPS, so definitely a bounce back season. So projections like him to sort of head toward what he did last year. I mean, conservatively, look for him to improve by about 25 points OPS wise. But honestly, I would say I'm a little more optimistic about it. I think it takes a little while to settle in. It takes a little while. New lineup. He's been in the same spot for 3 years. I don't know. I'm trying to find a reason for why I'm optimistic, other than the fact that I think if you give Piers Zimmerman a little bit more time to settle in, get his groove, feel where he's at in the lineup, and how to work that. Let's not Stephen Fact weird ballpark in Sioux Falls. I think he'll find his role a little bit, and we could see sort of a return to being one of the better middle of the lineup guys in the American Association. I mean, am I off on what I'm kind of vibing there?
No, I think he definitely could. I do think part of the problem with just comparing to the rest of the league, I feel like the overall quality is not only higher, but it's harder to stand out amongst.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good point. I agree.
So I think it's that. And the other thing I would also add in here is the pitching depth and quality that you're going to get in Frontier versus Association is worlds apart, right? Whereas in the Frontier, everybody's got at least one guy that can realistically count on both bullpen wise and starter. And then most got like a 2, maybe a 3, and then like another bullpen guy that they really like. And then really trails off after that. So you can kind of start to chip away. And we know certainly from looking at 22, 23 and beyond, the teams that Gateway was going up against wasn't exactly the strongest of competition. Whereas at Sioux Falls, you're getting a more even level of competition, and they're all having some sort of depth. Everybody really has that 1-2, unless you're a truly abysmal pitching team where you're just playing a bad ballpark to have that. And most teams have a 3 option, and they have respectable, maybe not great, but respectable bullpen pieces. And I think that is a critical difference too.
I also think it's worth noting, and not to harp on the lineup thing, back-to-back guys, but it is relevant. I mean, Zimmerman was the guy in Gateway, and that means a lot of the lineups are structured around him. It's set up in a way where he is going to see as many good pitches as hopefully possible. Zimmerman was hitting like 6th and 7th for a lot of the season. I mean, toward the end of the year, I mean, some of the guys right behind him was like Mike Hart, who had a tough year. Trevor Achenbach was behind him a little bit. Like he was struggling at times.
All guys you'd expect to have really been standouts.
Yeah, like the 9, like the catcher spot was occasionally behind him, like the 9 spot. So yeah, and because of that, and now this might be a counterpoint to what I was saying earlier. He had a pretty loaded lineup at times in front of him. Jordan Barth, Ray Walt, Estrada, Botcher, Jabari Henry. Like those were the 5 guys ahead of him. So, maybe on one hand, he should be seeing some strikes at that point because odds are there was some chaos ahead of him. And now there's a pitcher potentially with, in a tight spot. But at the same time, he could also be, he's got nothing behind him to really back him up. Not nothing, that's rough. But like, you know what I mean? There's very little and people are really directly attacking him. And maybe that wasn't something that he was settling into very well. Because if you think about it, he was probably one of the most cautiously pitched to guys in the Frontier League for a couple of years there. And then he comes to Sioux Falls and he's probably being attacked as that year goes on, as if he's just any other 7 hitter a lot of the time because of the 5 guys who are ahead of him in that lineup. And at that point, you're just like, I need to get some damn outs and I can't be walking people right now. I need to cash in the end of this lineup. So I don't know. I'd have to go back and like, that's kind of off of sort of some box scores and my memory of watching a little bit and trying to piece together the differences, holding up some stat lines and some data between the 2 seasons, one in the Frontier, or a couple in the Frontier, one in the American, and seeing what the difference is. So maybe that's something too, but that also speaks to, some time and he might be getting used to it. So we'll see.
So there's some talking ball. There's some.
We forget how good that Sioux Falls lineup is, by the way. That thing is terrifying.
The birdcage also helps it a lot.
It does, but it's not like them guys aren't putting up any numbers away from there. So they're like, we're just going to lean into this thing.
Well, we talked some ball. We looked at the West. We looked at the East too, I guess, technically with Dubai, but we covered a lot of ground for a kind of train wreck, no direction week. So that was good.
Every week of my life, baby.
Want to throw your plugs out there and then we'll wrap this thing up?
Yeah. Indie Ball Nation, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, podcast platforms should have at least one. I don't know what I'm going to do. At least one. We're going to have at least one Frontier League tryout video, and then I'll stagger a little bit and I'll put up another one. I've devoted my week to editing these things because I have too many hanging around and it got a little overwhelming. So I ended up putting it off a little bit, but I finally forced myself to do it. So I edited these videos and you can watch me struggle in the snow because the moment I agreed to do this tryout and start getting in shape to not embarrass myself, the ground has literally not been seen since outside of my house. So it's going great. Pennsylvania weather. I'm in hell.
Things are going well over there in the land of cheesesteaks. Great for him. Yeah. I don't have any such things here. We're just going to roll the dice when we get there. And it's going to go badly. I also probably should make sure I actually have everything I need for this tryout. I don't know yet. Gonna roll up with like some cheap youth bat that I got off of Amazon or something. Gonna be great.
I'll show up with at least 2 bats. So as long as we don't break both of them, we'll be all right.
Like,
I'll get to show off my bat tape in this one. I've been going bare bones on like everything because I'm not trying to spend a ton of money. And also I know I'm going to break a bat. So like, I'm not trying to get a good bat using the cage, but Jackie, when I was looking at either tape or going with some spray or some pine tar, and Jackie laid eyes on some tape with rubber duckies on it. And she was just like, you're getting that. I was like, all right. So I spent a few extra bucks to get the good bat tape that Jackie was happy with. She's been such a team player with this whole thing. Is the least I could do.
Yeah, I'm taking a different approach than you are. You're trying to not embarrass yourself. I'm just leaning into being ridiculous at this point and just being ridiculously bad for the comedy of it.
That makes me feel a little better because my big source of pressure so far has been outperforming you.
Oh, no. There's no way you could underperform me.
Because my main pressure is, dude, if I'm putting in time and actually like trying to perform somewhat well and get back into some sort of baseball shape, even for the sake of 1, maybe 2 days. I need to not show up and then just get beaten by you, who is not giving a damn the entire time.
Admittedly, how funny would that be, though?
I'd be crushed.
The car ride back from Cleveland would be fun.
Windows open because I'm just chain smoking.
So I can't believe Brockton actually offered a contract.
God, shut up.
I'd probably take a pay cut, actually, if I were to sign that. Good get insurance does. That's a plus. The Rossi is not involved anymore, so they probably have that under control. But yeah, if you want to not follow along with my journey, at Indie Ball Pod on Twitter, Indie Ball Report everywhere else, where you're gonna not see me doing any sort of tryout work and then rolling up and instinctively grabbing everything like it's a golf club. You know, that's gonna be the fun part for me, where I snap a finger doing that shit.
Another proud chapter.
Hey, it can always be worse. That's the one thing I've learned throughout life, is that it can always get worse. Unlike this show, though, I don't think we can bottom out further. Just a couple losers with a podcast in the basement. It's a great time for everybody. So we got Atlantic League North very late recap next week, and we're marching forward into the spring. So until then, don't forget to play ball.